Hello class, welcome back. We are on lesson 13-3. I can write simple expressions that show calculations with numbers. So basically you're going to follow the steps in the problem to write an expression and then you're going to solve it. So let's look here at this first one. Add 7, 6, and 15 and then divide by 2. Now, first of all, when you see this, you might be tempted to write it like this. 7 plus 6 plus 15 divided by 2. Because it kind of seems like we've done it. Add 7, 6, and 15 and then divide by 2. But if you write it just like that and you don't put something in, when you go with the order of operations, the first thing you would do here is you would take 15 divided by 2. Because remember, in the order of operations, dividing and multiplying come first before adding and subtracting. So, what do we need to do? Does anybody know? We need to put parentheses right there. That way we can add this first, then divide the 2. So we've got 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 plus 15 is 28. 28 divided by 2, I know is 14. If you don't know that, you could come over here and you could take 28 divided by 2. 8 goes into 2 4 times. And there we go. Okay, so there's that problem. Find 2 5/10 times the difference between 20 and 15. So now we've got to think about our math word here. Difference. The difference between 20 and 15. How are we going to write that problem? What is that going to be? Difference is subtraction. So we've got find 2 5/10 times the difference between 20 and 15. The difference between 20 and 15. Now again, we're going to have to put parentheses somewhere because we've got to work this 20 minus 15 first before we multiply it by the 2 5/10. So I'm going to put my parenthesis here. Work that first. 20 minus 15 is 5. Now I have 2 5/10 times 5. So I'm going to come over here and work that. 2 5/10 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Now, how am I going to decide where to put my decimal in this problem? I could do it kind of by estimation. I know that 5 times 2 is 10, so I know it's going to be a little more than 10. I can also look and see that in the problem, there's one number to the right of the decimal. So in my answer, there's also going to be one number to the right of the decimal. And I end up with an answer of 12 5/10. Okay, next problem. It's kind of fun doing these. Subtract 30 from the sum of 72 and 28. So what are we going to do first? Are we going to subtract the 30 first, or are we going to add, because sum means add, 72 and 28. Let's read it closely. Subtract 30, sorry about the shadow on this, by the way. Subtract 30, here that helps, from the sum of 72 and 28. We're going to have to add that first and then subtract the 30. So I'm going to come over here. 72 plus 28. After we get that sum, we're going to minus the 30. Now, adding and subtracting are on the same line with order of operations, so this time we don't necessarily have to write the parenthesis because we're going to add and subtract from left to right, but I'm just going to go ahead and write it. 72 plus 28. Let's work that first. Is 100. And 100 minus 30 is 70. And there's our answer. Now, when you're working the practice buddy, you're also going to need to remember that the area of a rectangle is how you figure that is length times width. I just put that on there because I saw there was an area problem on the practice buddy. Last question. My class last year had problems with this question, so that's why I put it on here. A rental company charges $20 plus $10 per hour to rent a laptop. So if they rent you the laptop, you get a flat fee of $20. Then for every hour that you're using the laptop, you're going to have $10 per hour. Jasmine rented a laptop for 5 hours. Write an expression to calculate the total Jasmine paid. So let's think about that for a minute. It's going to be $20 no matter how many hours you rent it. So when you're writing this problem, you're going to have your $20 plus, then how much is it per hour? $10. How many hours did Jasmine rent it? 5. So we're going to come here and we're going to take our 5 times the 10. The $10. So she had it for 5 hours at $10 an hour. So that's going to be the $50. But then no matter what, you've got to add the 20 because even if no matter how long you rent it, you have that $20 fee right from the start. So there would be the problem would be, and we do this first. 5 times 10 is 50, and we'd add our 20, which would be 70. I don't have room on my paper. I hope you all are doing well. I sure do miss you. I am so disappointed that we're not going to be back in school together this year. I am very disappointed about that, but I just want you to know we're going to keep working math like this. We can keep doing it virtually. And I'm just so happy that you're watching these videos, listening to them, and doing your math. I'm really proud of you for that. So great job. Pat yourself on the back and know that I missed you, okay? Keep up the great work.